Hey guys, it's your boy. Welcome back to another video. It's your boy, Libertarian Election Predictions here, back at it again with another video. Today is November 22nd, 2021, for those who are tuning in or just don't know the date. So, here we are. So, let me take some time to explain to you guys why I haven't been uploading that much. If you guys don't know, I am currently a junior in high school, and I think you guys know what it means. I'm an 11th grader, and um, it's very difficult. I have a lot of AP courses I gotta take, and some of them are eating off my time. Like I know physics, AP physics, definitely is eating off my time, and I've been so busy with tests and projects, especially the marking period ended for me. So yeah, luckily my grades are not too bad, but I think they're the worst they've ever been. So sorry guys, but that's the realities of junior year. But I'm just saying, guys. But eventually we got to go through it, right? So no matter what year it is, whether you go through it next year or the year after, you're still gonna be a junior in high school at some point. So junior year is such a freaking nightmare, and yeah, that's why I haven't been uploading that much. And I just realized this year how precious my time is. So I literally can't waste a single freaking minute. But since I got a little bit of time today, so I decided I could make a very quick video on the governor's election in 2022. So, for those of you guys who didn't know, we had our 2021 Virginia and New Jersey gubernatorial election. So, I'd say the biggest shocker I think was Virginia. I mean, I did predict Youngkin was going to win. And let me tell you guys why I abstained from making a prediction. So, while other YouTubers like American Predictions, Let's Talk Elections, and Election Watch Analysis, they made videos saying predicting the Virginia's governor's race. I didn't. I chose to abstain from it because if we look at recent trends, it can in recent elections, recent trends, it can literally go anywhere. Like I don't want to look too biased and say Terry McAuliffe was going to win or Youngkin was going to win. So I decided let's wait till election day and find out. So I did not really want to be like make a definite prediction and then get it wrong. So that's the reason why I decided to play it safe, not really predict. But I feel like the Republican takeover in Virginia, I think was very well deserved. I think McAuliffe ran a fucking shit campaign and no substance. It's all Trump, 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 Trump. Yeah, we get Trump. We get that the guy played a role in the insurrection. Well, I think it's false that he actually promoted the insurrection, but running your campaign on Trump is a losing strategy. And I encourage my fellow Democrats to take notes on this. And like I've heard the many Democratic strategists and news outlets and Sean Patrick Maloney, the DCC trade chair. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys even talking about? Like, you're gonna go hyper focus on Trump. Like, what the hell is that strategy? I don't understand what that strategy is, and it makes Republicans more energized. And that is the exact reason why I endorsed Glenn Youngkin because I could not take McAuliffe's rhetoric on critical race theory and how he defends it. Honestly, like why? And it's like it opened my eyes. I thought we're both Republicans and are the ones dividing it, but I realized that it's both parties that are trying to divide us by race and then using our race to exploit us. So I think McAuliffe's loss was well deserved, and I think and many down ballot Democrats, I think some of them were unfortunate, but when you got a stupid idiot right in the front of the ticket who's saying who's like connecting Youngkin to Trump, even though Youngkin clearly did not want Trump on the campaign trail, and can Trump exclusively campaign in southwestern Virginia, where he's very popular. I don't know what the heck was McAuliffe thinking. If this was 2017, this might have been a winning electoral strategy, but the Democrats, we have to move on from Trump. We can't focus on zero in on Trump because Republicans use that and attack us. They make us look like freaking fools. Anyway, guys, enough ranting. So, I'm sorry, guys, if I may have lost my mind today, but I just can't say, no. But Murphy won in New Jersey, and I think it was kind of expected. I did not expect him to win by just a hairy 3 points against Jack Ciattarelli, but I mean, in a very bad year for the Democrats, at least, it's worse than losing. So, yeah. So, let's get into the governor's race. I don't want to make this too long a video. I want to get straight to the point. So, let's save Democratic seats. California. I think Gavin Newsom's going to win. Even if he's primaried and someone in the primary wins, I still think they're going to win by a safe margin over a Republican challenger. California is now the state that is like that essentially makes Republicans like a third party in the state. Well, they may occasionally break 40%, but again, but California Democrats have gotten so much stronger since 2003, so it is what it is. New York, I see that being another safe Democratic state. I think, regardless of who wins the primary, whether it's Hochul or Letitia James, no matter who wins the primary, I still think New York will be a safe Democratic seat, unless someone like George Pataki or some Republican who can run like Youngkin can come to the fray. I'm not saying that a Youngkin type Republican can win New York. I think New York has gotten very partisan over the years, but they could at least make it kind of closer. That is my analysis. And Hawaii, I think Tulsi Gabbard might run for governor. I don't know, but if you guys have been hearing the news, many news media have floated Tulsi Gabbard is running as a Republican, but I think she's more likely to run as an independent than Republican because, well, she does hold some Republican beliefs, which I do too as well. But I think she's more likely going to run with as an independent because she has overall more of a Democratic score than a Republican score. So I think there's literally only two safe Democratic seats. Just two. That is such a testament, guys, to see how what an absolute mess the Democratic Party is in. Now the safe Republican seats. Oh, Republicans have many. Idaho, Wyoming. Even South Dakota is a safe Republican seat when Christine Noem won by a hair margin of 3 points against Billy Sutton, but I don't see that happening now. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, I put that as safe, and I think that's literally. I think Massachusetts, Vermont, yeah, New Hampshire is essentially safe. Chris Sununu declined, bypassed to run to run for the U.S. Senate, but I wish he did, but unfortunately, it is what it is, right? But it's not like New Hampshire's magically this safe Democratic seat. No, that's not what. That's the Democratic insiders were mistakenly thinking that. And if I were them, I'd get my act together and pass and do what's best for the American people. So right now we have 20 Republican governors to only a mere 9 Democratic governors. I could say Democrats are going to. You may guys may know this. Democrats will be washed out, but yeah, I could agree with it. I don't want to make any preliminary predictions though. So likely Democratic seats. Illinois, I see that being likely. I think J.B. Pritzker is going to lose a little bit of support, but I don't think it will be so dramatic. But I think it's going to be 13 points for Governor Pritzker of Illinois. Rhode Island, Daniel Mckee, who ascended the governorship from Gina Raimondo, who resigned to be Secretary of Commerce. He's now the new governor, so now he has to face the voters for the first time. So usually, when you run for the first time, usually you win by a very narrow margin. Then, if you're popular, you get reelected. So, well, I think Rhode Island elects its lieutenant governor separately, and so Mckee has experience facing the voters, but it's not the same when you're on the top job. So I think Rhode Island will be a likely margin, also owing to the political climate as well. I think Maryland, this will be a first flip for the Democrats. It's going to be likely. I don't see really any Republican candidate that, like Larry Hogan, that's capable of defeating a Democrat. Although we're still very early. Today is still November 22nd. We still have like what 351 days till the midterms. So anything can change. New candidates can come, but at the end of the day, I think Maryland is going to be a likely Democratic flip. And I think that's literally it. And I think Oregon is going to be likely. I think Democrats have a good bench, and Republicans. I'm not sure about the Republican bench, but Oregon is a Democratic state, so I'm classifying it as Oregon as a likely. So the likely Republican seats. Texas, Beto O'Rourke. Oh my God, like his candidacy is absolutely laughable, and the polls are showing. Oh, Beto O'Rourke is only losing to Greg Abbott by 5%. Fuck the polls, honestly. Who gives a fuck about the polls? I'm telling you guys, Beto loses by 12 points. That comment, I'm going to take your guns away, including AR-15s and AK-47s. You think that plays well in a state like Texas? Jesus fuck, guys. I don't understand what Beto thinks, and he still stands by it. He doesn't learn from 2018. Jesus. That kills me. And so, Greg Abbott's easily going to win by like 12, 13 points. Iowa and Ohio, easy wins. See, regardless of who wins the primary, and well, I don't know if Jim. Shit, guys. So, who's the incoming governor? Oh yeah, Mike DeWine. So, even if Mike DeWine loses, I still think it's a Republican hold, and it's going to be a likely margin because Ohio is trending to the right, and Democrats are losing support amongst blue collar workers. And if Republicans run more on blue kitchen table issues, they could show up even more support in the eastern part of the state and the rim of Ohio. They can easily secure more support. And I think another likely state, Florida. I think Ron DeSantis easily going to win. I think Annette Tadeo could probably put up the strongest fight, but at the same time, DeSantis is extremely popular. Okay, well, not extremely popular, but popular enough to win a second term. Alaska, I see that as another likely Republican state. I think Dunleavy, even though there have been efforts to recall him, but the guy's literally not going to get kicked out of office. And probably Kansas. I see that being likely Republican, even though Kelly isn't disapproved of, but necessarily. But again, national environment has a big factor. There's a reason why Sam Brownback, even though he was losing in the polls in 2014, he still won because of the national environment. Although Kansas was more Democratic than the national environment, but again, in an R+5, R+6 national environment, I just can't see Kelly holding on to the governorship of Kansas. I can't see her holding on. So lean Democratic seats. Republicans have officially retained the majority. So Reynolds' party has 26, and Cooper's party has 13. But I mean, clearly Democrats are gonna be whitewashed next year. Trust me. Kim Reynolds. So for Reynolds' party, oops, I meant Roy Cooper's party. His lean states. Connecticut, Ned Lamont, not very popular of a governor, and if Bob Stefanowski runs again, I think he can definitely make it very competitive, but at the same time, I think Lamont is favored due to incumbency. Colorado, I think that's another lean Democratic state. I think Polis did won by a relatively comfortable margin in 2018, but I feel like Polis has lost support over time, and coupled with the national environment, I think Polis will face a little bit of an uphill battle to win re-election, but I think in the end of the day, Colorado is still a Democratic state, and he will still win re-election. Same applies to New Mexico, even though generic Republicans are defeating Michelle Lujan Grissom, but realistically, we can't. That may not be an accurate poll because it is from a Republican insider poll. So I'm not sure whether I can trust that poll. So these are just personal predictions. These are based off like data and statistics I have, like approval ratings and national environment. Although we shouldn't take all that into consideration, we should think about the governor's policies and records. But I think even though Lujan Grissom had a little bit of that scandal, but I don't think that's going to really hurt her that much as Republicans like to think. And I think that's literally it for lean states. So Republican lean states, Arizona, Georgia, and Georgia. I think Kemp, while he's facing a primary challenge from David Perdue, well, potentially, guys, don't hold me to this. I think David Perdue might announce a run, but I think the national environment is just going to be very skewed in favor of the Republicans. And Georgia is still a Republican state, more Republican than the country as a whole. So I still think, Kemp will still hold on very narrowly, but I think it's not going to be like 5 points. But I think maybe I'm thinking about the same margin he won in 2018. But I think Kemp is unpopular, but kind of like what happened to Sam Brown back in 2014. The incumbency and national environment will save him. And Arizona generic Republicans are leading in the polls so far, and I think the Republican bench is a lot stronger than the Democratic Party's bench. And believe me or not, I think Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan are lean Republican overall. I think Wisconsin, even though Yeah, I'm not discounting Tony Evers. I think he's a strong incumbent, but I think he's failed to deliver on a lot of promises that he ran on in 2018. So I think that might cost him in Wisconsin, and Wisconsin's a state that is trending Republican. So I think I see Tony Evers losing very narrowly, maybe 1.5 points. And in Michigan, I think Gretchen Whitmer, she is not very popular right now, even though she has earned high marks for her COVID response. But again, I think her COVID response turned off a lot of people too. And James Craig, I think, is a very strong candidate, former police chief, and that will really help corral support amongst Republicans and police and the police. Typically, the police do lean to the right, so and Pennsylvania. While I do think the Republican bench is not as strong as the Democratic bench, particularly with Josh Shapiro, but again, I think Pennsylvania is still more Republican than national average, and in an R+6 year, I see Pennsylvania being realistically Pennsylvania would be R+8, but again, I don't see anybody winning by 8 points in Pennsylvania. That's unrealistic, but currently I see Pennsylvania as leaning Republican. And are there any tilt Democratic states? Yes, I think Minnesota and holy shit, guys. I'm so sorry, guys. I clicked South Dakota, but I see Minnesota and Maine tilting in Democrats' favor. Minnesota, I think, is a very tough state because Tim Walz, even though there has been no polling or been not or many strong no polling, but I don't really see a very strong Republican bench right now that's like strong enough to take down Tim Walz. I think there may be strong candidates. If you guys do know of a very strong Republican candidate, please tell me and so I can amend my projection. But as of right now, I don't know. So I'm putting Minnesota as tilty because still Minnesota typically favors Democrats. And man, I think Paul LePage, I think he's more like a despised guy. Tried to overthrow the ranked choice system, which I think that will Janet Mills could bring that up, and he falls out of favor with Maine voters. But I think Maine will be very, very close. And our final state, Nevada, I have to put this as tilt Republican. I think Steve Sisolak, well, not unpopular, but he has received lots of anger over COVID response, and given how the national environment and if Adam Laxalt could do it well enough in the Senate race, he could probably prop up the Republican candidates down ballot. So yeah, so a lot of these projections, guys, I took in factor the national environment and candidates, but again, some candidates may not be strong, others may be terrible to be ass candidates, but again, the national environment is just so heavily skewed to the Republicans. So right now, Republicans have 32, and Roy Cooper's party has 18. So anyway, guys, please comment down below if you guys disagree with any of my projections. Please, if you disagree with any of my ratings, please let me know in the comments below. And I hope you guys enjoy my content. I know it's very difficult for me to upload. I wish I could upload more. I know you guys have high expectations on me, but sorry guys, I'm in junior year and time is very precious to me, so I can't really do anything about it. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. So I can definitely tell you one thing for a fact: Democrats are gonna be kicked next year. Literally, they'll be cooked next year, like cooked eggs, literally. So I'm fully prepared for it. I'm definitely it'll be a blast seeing the night. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Libertarian election predictions out.